Assalamu alaikum badingolu ngal kontong mobe dawda nibe watu watito Kabron Skype radio and TV services content ro colons nal bismillah na programo min kasudu jang lokungo lokung ninyan tembensita jamano Bani Malo Mustafa Jame member sirin program o kunna nyintemben ka radio to Ekul kati ngulandi na yo Fiji Skype our radio and TV services studios by ko Fiji West Yorkshire Leeds Stencil Mount so ana ansen Harit Mustafa Jame nekal Fiji Rajabi Okay, power frequency streaming live from studios West Yorkshire Leeds Stencil Mount Mustafa Jame at the seat from studios Skype Power. Butum komin dalda ka kenyame lokun ninyan tembensita na programo jamanoto ka molso to minni alonko wala kake alfalti kapona doku bundal to minni alonko na jeroto wala suloti mol mi alonko molbe suraleng doku bundal min la kibaro la ke moy mol kanam fe kataram fe jam pour kana ka kacha kula mimbe dending doku bundal mi alon itol ka bonan jelto bi bida ombudsman's office le ombudsman la office odum nga alfa ba min suram fe jang wolon juma kamarati juma ke kamara bari comme dalta ka kinyame lokun jannin ka dum kacha kono alfa bal min kataram fe e ka kacha ni kula min be dendi nyinna nke bulale inin lamar la nin jibera le nyo konton kadu ko sokoret kadia wolo famala da kono nini mole nyo konton no bra jensina dum kacha kun kono gavalo ko ladies first follow nzina ite ya binta enen bara famo ke dam bukeje de butum nse bula enen mole nyo konton binta jamba
assalamu alaikum ba mobe konton nage dolon binta jamba from Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. Balbe kontona. Allah moy lalo balbe kontona. Thank you so much. Allah barak.
Nimbaraba ke binta. Bronzina alfa baya lundango miya lonko wolo bi abemfe ma kere bismillah wolo juma ke kamarati. Juma butum be bismillah on Skype for the first time from the ombudsman Juma kamara.
Yeah, barakaba ke. Apadanya kontanu ku wale kana mawe. Kana ndaka kwenye programu yembe molbe kontona lamor la ni jiber lalbe
ya ene baraba ke juma sol butum ifanansa mol kontom bitenga nuya bula ci genal I think you're on mute sol yangi mute yebe mute ren
maa ngi sant yàlla borom bi may nañu wér ak wérle ak fekkee tey maa ngi nuyu ñëpp ku nekk sa tour sa sant ak sa wàccuwaay dine Mr Camara bismillah si programme bi ak suma sister suma darling Binta ne leen welcome back it's been a long time so tey moom ñu ngi dellu si office ombudsman bi xam naa ñu bari ñi ñooy seetaan xëj na dégg nañ ko o xam nañ ombudsman bi lan mooy seen wéeruwaay so tey am nañ Mr Camara dinañu xelal dinañu wax office of the ombudsman mooy lan mooy seen liggéey naka la ñoo dimbale doomi réew yi ak li ci tegu so ci biir waxtaan bi dinañ ko laajte ay question ci waxtaan bi mo wax jërë ngeen jëf
Jerejef Sol. Butong follow Juma.
Yeah.
Because akumata baki jama coming for in broadcasting. Kuoku yanni kalong, you need to define it first. After the definition in broadcasting goalefo, near kuolong then isina kachano. Okay, follow. Ntani nyongol. Niko ombudsman. Ato fango malo mandinka kango to wolo munti or to simplify it in any of the local languages. Ombudsman la officer to mesa malanje. Monong ombudsman fango di Juma.
Ya ba ka ke niko puru kuma kango nyin ka fo mandika kango do membi jo bokole yala. On don ka fo ndel fangol kando to jangamere bokole yala. Remember kuma yala wala nyinto ala long kangolti pour moli wol long tro barin tuwabu kangala sa fa memo tuwabu kangolti anen tol mi yalon kon kan institutional tol la wala wato dol biji kuma ya man taraje bak pour mo koto long bar wala long kango pour mo wolong ala tamandel nyal pour mo wolong nsemo fono je wala ombudsman mu bundalati waran ton ombudsman mu moleti molem mi ikamenkil ombudsman na mi yalon ko official diala pour ateye tara loru molyeje mojuma molmin yalon ko e benni ko ya kol sur la wala ko la kol sur la masakunda do ko la nyoje tumola waranto ila do ko tumola masakunda do ko bundal
Akumara. Woto ombudsman ila officer ala lonkan daylo mo nyinati pour kamol nyaajo fita mol min yalon ko e kolea ko soto kula mimbe dending fo ila doku lato lombang fo kula mimbe dending ila doku la ye bay ye suspend or mainly ye bay dal wala kolea kul
ha abala wala nyama ning aya tara sayme dunna kacha kono anyama wala nyinti ko ombudsman la office ko be loren pour ka kolo sur loke man sakunda doku bundalla masakunda do ko bundal dum kadro gamen koros je wala min ila do ko wol min be dending ila do ko la e ka mel kenyola etel damangol tema ani tel fanal ka men ke molula sa nin ko masakunda do ko wala damangol tema membe je e damandim fojel bar pour ka faham dro wala laftamel londe je wala min ko ni ko masakunda do ko bunda mol nyanta lon ko nyilmu bundal te min yalon ko luwal maratela comme bundal le minan ko mamara ifangolla sartol ni luwal wolle be larin pour official la tamandir nyal nyanta tala nyame sa mum bije wala nyinde ko watol dol bije tanya ni sartol sita fo nyoko ni mu fama kilinati nyanta hakilo la banda dame flanya wala nyindi darin ni commence ko ngado ko bundal molle beje milbe do ko wala je sa mol mulu beje yecco do ko bundal ila introduction ko mol mulu beje do ko wala nyantol le ba wala woliye la nyantol lo soto min yalon ko la sulol beje la pour yella nyantol dila andu mol le fanal beje min yalon ko wolle ba mararing wollulla sa akamta ko min beje wala min mel ba mararing mollo ma sakunda la bundal ibe marlo menulla ma sakunda la bundal itel kabul decision si falleta min yalon ko wolle be dandi walla ko wala o decision ol anu marawo nyim fanfa ala process ni wala kanana ke la nyaado nyama men ka sulo soto pour modo ya daka fuje wala nyanda kala ombudsman la doko say wo betal la dandi munala molla sula ko wala ila nyantol min yalon ko wolle be doko wala je andu wo nyantol dum si fal siatal ngara programme ngamira nga fa hamle ko maybe minute tanana ni fenna bande be ni kala do nga chodro kan nal partanal be ni karol kala sa duwol kon say wo nyantol ni ayatar ye bari ila nyantol la wol mol se borno nan kana ombudsman ni mu fama kelen flanyaw wala nyindi ko nyil mun yalon ko ibe doku wala mo sakundala bundal to watol min yalon ko mol min lu mortele ye jero ke wonto ye sutero ko nyilul saktol tinyale inata ka kululor lekam o kululor fanal mu fanal ti mun yalon ko aka sulo sabu wala sulo kana je mun katina ombudsman nyanta lola je so ñum bunda fulol wala bi je no bota je do kulal damangol tema hajo ntel banko silal min yalon ko be gambia fo mo gambia dingol leti ban fo manki gambia dingol di fomulunta on leti bar nataraɓe londin no kon terɓe gambie janne momondimɓe jan ina masala dow kulal buko ñokkar ni suloɓe kan ikata masala dow ku bundal tol bar hanin sulote kan fana masala dow kulal ike tara ila place tol ila sokono wonte ɓe dawaɗan ni min aya tara wokono fanan kuuɗol tata je min yalon ko woye ñanto tiñale den ombudsman fanan na ñesoto je pour que korosiro ka so ñum fanna fulore wala men ka tawa ma seconda dow kulal damangol tema andu man pa duwo kono folo pour kala ñin karol batu andi mel ka tamantel fanan ni man seconda dow kulal damangol tema men ka dunje wu fanan sulo ka soto jele pour ombudsman lo so ñim bu nafulo ombudsman na korosiro bu wolto kaje ko ka ñawlo man seconda do kula bundal kan ala place tan kaje ko itani sartolla anum fulanja mulla hakol la ñantol yasut
akomada bari fo akake mansa kun so lebi mi yurla yangi mi so
yeah misal fe comme na tarante be do kola police kundato inata bay andung ndengaji ko maybe bayroñi na boss amam bay silakan maybe nga kuke mi yalon ko ama kontanindi so wo bayroñi nin natalia albe mako la nyaadile
okay janni nga dum ngenya nago dimaro dinyame na kata pour langola ni jibe la def hamrul so to bundal to folo bar nga choddo wala kenyi sa ni lafta nga dum konoto wala nyinti ko kuwol mel be dendi kuluro lan kana fa drum bayro sa kuwol mel be dendi kuluro welcome ke mun ngati ko misal fe misa jang ite do ko wala police bundal ye sartol tinya ye police kundala sartol tinya sa kuluro be laale kan sa kuluro mun be laale kan asakeno bayro tile bara asakeno la fanan ye dimot le ye la makamo o ran jingil asakeno la fana ye suspend without salary asakeno la fana ye kulur na sifa dota ya leka pour ka je ko ye barata menna ikana asaynka say membe je wala mi ndiko ni ayata kuluro ni fana wato dol bije min ka tara den je aka kele ko meye kuluro la mo kan amanya naka kuluro la ka buko sa ta fana ma sembo so pour que kuluro sayin ni aya tara ma yo man sembo so pour que kuluro ga kam da ko wada fana felenting ay tinyaro ke wonda luwati nyawonda sembo dia fon la men soto say wala mi ndiko ni ba kuluro la lete ka mon mi nyala ko wala nyanta ke kulu luwa ko to sembo bije sartol wi lar na ka intandi ko italla nyanta ke to kulu ni wala ta kulu wodo say membe je itiade ko kole ya kulle be je min kamanna ko kuluro misafi alanda tambital wonto amanyen naka ki at all comme yete bayde nin ayatara inata ombudsman be kisikisiro kala ko wala kala mo lo ketala anen kala mo lo ke mun yalon ko fanay ko wolle yete bay bari to be specific to your questions bari bay rolo fon nin ayatara yete bayle ombudsman be korosoro kala ka jibe ko nim bayro fane sarto tara fane sarto manta nim bayro fokundi melan ko be tenni wala ani committee afanya fabelare wala nyam nin ayatara ombudsman be korosoro wala mi nyinde ko sarto luwal tinyadal ombudsman be yamaro dilal pour yete mario murundi je bari je bay dalilo men ani sarto ni silol foto nyoko
yo camara laf say ngin kala question telenela ninga yatara ntebe do kola police department ne ngam police department ne ye problem o soto je police ye demote ye ranko table ye transfer after nate murundi kotake sanyum kotake ye muta kotake ye defend police station auto for almost 72 hours inate murundi kotake ye samba ye remind kotake inate murundi kotake sa ibe remind ikoy be kitindela sa atul ombudsman al bu ay kamene ko woto
okay na ba koyl ko bunda min ka diamala sa ngaji bi ngata ning fonkola ngabe ka funyo wala mi diko na tra aba koyl ko bunda mi yalon ko wolle kula mo ko mi yalon ko wayaje ko woni sarton luwal tatal ombudsman lo la sero sa mimbi je ko ngam fo misa jenna ko wala ko kisikisiro wala de kala sa ni mario ay ni sotole kana ombudsman waranto ayatara ko min ka be marandi ne marotol ala molen yo sotole pour kana ombudsman kala ko futande je and ombudsman bo wulo ko wala la kisikisiro kala je to ayatam
And now two police officers wrong right now. They in the mile 2, and I feel like they wrongly because police ida male be nyobo indika. A deputy inspector general of police I charge them, I demote, ye transfer, ye ranko busila. Sani munte sama Banjul police ye arrest kota de sama Banjul police station. They were detained there for almost 72 hours. Imunta kota ke sign kota ke ye remind kota ke signing kota ke they in remind imanson that nobody to bail them. Ike samba kitiola. I feel like ombudsman have to do something about it. Mam felonje baran kegi ni ka ukinsono. Why ka ken wanyadi.
Okay, sa mun bije wala mi yitiko bari yemen fa siyata say akam da ko kono ombudsman ye niyo soto ko dol biya ama niyo soto je say wala min de specifics kuji fa fintina because jama ka funyo ye dim son kumo fole ye maybe transfer mi alon ko it is as a result of the alleged action ye kiti bunda fole so say na ko roslo kele wo administrative issues dol min yalla ko yer resle ni ayatara wol kono wo bucho wala yaji ko ku dol lebe danding wala min yalla ko wala ila nyantol tinyata wotole ni wona fena ombudsman be ko roslo kele wala gatun kulle min yalla ko wala ila nyantol wolti andu wol mu kullati min yalla ko se murno e kannen command ya woto senera so bajere ko ombudsman ni soto je sa ni natna na fa ko san kidiyo tabranta mo mone mo ba samba kan kidiyo ombudsman mon ni soto ni ba mo kiti ndigam sa min be je wala min ndiko ombudsman be nyesuto la dane wala min ndiko yo mo muta e mon son ka kiti e mon son ka samba lwa nyaati wala nyinna mol sinano la ombudsman ka fu moli ko na mo kar ya muta la de bulo kono atlantic bari mon sunna ka samba nin kiti wala so ngaje ko woto men nyanda kala nyin ko wala min ndiko ala nyanto be tinyakan sa ombudsman be lola wakula bari mun be je wala ndiko ta fataro kala ko akana ka kiti wala wala se men kala wala min ndiko ala nya ali men nyanta kala luwa ko wala ka samba kiti wala ali ko nyin topoto ala je ko wayke ka nuwa manki akam to ala nyanto be tinyakan
yo na second question wala nyin to ala ta do na second question wala nyin ko momi yalon ko ay do ko ka man sakunda for sangi tang ani woro but due to the conditions the former regime, due to the conditions, 16 years, I think the person is eligible to have the retirement. Nimusola muiti, iba bola je wato mena you did a voluntary retirement, but because of the former regime is there, they don't want to pay you nothing. They malificate your benefits and all those things. What can ombudsman do about that thing?
Good. Abelaro wala nyama wo fanam bunal te men ko ombudsman de ni soto jela pour kana fena kana ji ka jibi ka fu ombudsman balola ko wala ba kisikisiro kelo ko wala amaro mi nyanto ala nyanto men aya dim ko mi ngafo no nyama nyaaje mon dungo example be ko non la faka time wala di yalla bi karo kam bar mum bi je wala mi de ko nga farwa nyantane fo fendi mi alon ko molla nyanto lam ando nyilmu bundale de mi alon ko watni ko soto la wala mi retirement ma retire ila retirement benefits ma soto one la persona masodo wato dol bije asikeno fa nafa ko wala bije nafa ko pour kan nomar lo ko wala mi ko ele nyantole nafa ko nat nana taraje wo mu mal administration net sa ombudsman kan mal administration na investigate sa fofu ni mi ko be den nafa ko wala ka ton ko ha ritaade la bare nyanta di lana la bare han ka bi modolo bije golo nyanta to potola wando sanji fulata ay sanji tale ay nyin kan nanga mol tale mi ko na koro siroto o muna na folti min ladda tambida ombudsman ni soto jile mariel na ombudsman loye wala kisikisiro ka ko kaji be to nyabala ndam
okay akumada lafte nyinin kala minna atol la nying sembo ale yalla sembo bonde mun dol
ombudsman la sembo aya bondi constitutional ko 1997 constitution of the Republic of the Gambia and in 1997 ombudsman act
good what a break of constitution or what a saying farlolom kodi
farlol
abant oto moyo diarale jambe diala la woto bayri farlolo ning amanke mun tolong atol dandulade fo atole dandula soto lo
ha dandula soto
mun dol mal dandula
ombudsman ke doku masala doku bundal la jibe bar kudol bi jeebi ko korosolo ke walla
multi nang say
wala nyinti ko ngado fo binta la ko tole kabrin kay ko kitio ko kundi mi ala ko sa fotata kiti bundata da bota ombudsman ko ton say ngam wala faya atala ko so xam da ko kiti kuo ni mi alon ko anyanta tala kiti bundato ombudsman buka jibero ke wo kuola bar wo kitio ni na banta bar kiti bunda luwale min lande je wala appellate system le beje ni la kitio malla ko ke ka appeal so woto bara wala wala nyama ombudsman man ni soto bar min ayatara kitio kitale ningo kiti ko nin kitio kitale bar kitio nyete mario favor aka kele kitio ka ke ake moni sembentuya ala kokon bari nan sanyantana tamala ko men na kitio lande nyame imanana tamala so wada kamta ko nak ombudsman so korosro keno wato so kitio ko ni fa on taw jibeno la bar kitio kida ko menna ka fa ko okay almin tamande ten kon kitio ya kun ko alajanta la tenne bar man sana de executive volanta kaji ko kitio nya kumbi nyama lawa nyama no manke amara sinona ombudsman ba kiti bunda into mala kiti ko into mala no boje kiti bunda kiti da ko kundi na wanto hana bellarin kiti bunda to la futata jele kama sob judise ombudsman man ni so ja atamala no boje baran ka fali ko watu mansa kunda do ko bundal wada kam da ko asinya talako fansun do ko bundal a private company wala ko ndako rasul kena comme ça be do wala afrique le yebay be do ko wala ñu hotel car le yebay be do ko wala ñu lebel car wala la supermarket wala no sifa yi kulete kam yan kan silo ni ñantol ani sa foto ñoko ombudsman to lo no le o da fana o da man taraji no boto je fana president wala affairs president ko wala ye decision o ta ñin ketale waranto mumbe dendi prerogative of mercy kitio kena le loi lande tene ba president na ya foko o mare ombudsman on desoje bar pour ka be ka fu ñoma fandron president a manke moti mi alon ko o masala do kulati mi alon ko abe ombudsman le jurisdiction kotale pour ombudsman martal o daman taraji
okay ila wo definition o nin se ma ko enoje because ni ko constitution o wolon banko be min ko tafo
yeah banko be
so sai fu president amantara banko la kol
niko constitution nyanta fa la constitution ala munku wala nyanta kesena niko mo be la constitution ko tole o senator bar ni kuma ko constitution wala ombudsman londi bar constitution wala ombudsman londi oto mo be ombudsman ko la hanya ba kata wanyam ni ta da constitution ko no adjade tele bi dal section do ibe limitation tar la jeel so no constitution what section aka fon fele aka foko ba limitation bi jele wala de caveat ke ka foko bar ñing or less this so constitution anane manke ko ni bunda ni loi ma constitution ko no dro ay mobile fudi hani o constitution baka jibe wonyama anda mantra la wonyama bar nafra abdending ombudsman la ka foko alata yati le ba fala ko constitution wala ombudsman londi pour o be ñing cioli la wala ñite ko ombudsman mu bundal timi yolon ko asembo wartale warantan banko ni ya kuliyandele wala yatin ya dundi banko la constitution ko la ko den kay nana loi do day kam fo ombudsman act pour que asembentuya wala kala do ko ta ka grand franfanche ka bunda do yela koto ka sutero kala kalon ajanta tala dami ana manyanta dal manyanta dami andu la fa mum fele wala ñite ko constitution wala ye bank National Assembly empower under section 163 of the Constitution nabe block on sayele wala provisional provide co the National Assembly should come up with an act to establish the office of the ombudsman, but it is the same constitution that makes provision for the National Assembly to determine the areas or institutions or bodies that are supposed to be excluded from the jurisdiction of the ombudsman.
Interesting.
Okay. Apart from the president.
Apart from president.
Apart from the president, a body jumale exclude from the ombudsman's scrutiny.
A judicial decision out of the senator, right, of a court and or any tribunal established by law. Affairs of the president, of course, automatically the private sector or private institutions, and anybody that you wouldn't body, person, or authority you wouldn't consider as public. It's not within the ombudsman's jurisdiction.
Okay. Yes, Senator. But say ninkumbo nyama B. Yamira, ombudsman. atol alla doko alba ke kan ba
iko fumba ke kan
ha
yeah
okay.
kan since
okay yeah love the yes lele yes or no love all okay
yes
fo mol ka funti atol kan na bay ni la problème ko ye problème soto ila doko la mol kan ali ala ba
yeah all the time since the creation of the ombudsman in 1999 mol bina kan ombudsman mol min yalon ko ale example mo fote iko ile nyantol ye bali wala ila doku lalde kana ombudsman ka kisiro kala ka recommendation okay ka foko ali la nyantol sandi la andi kella nyantol sandi la mol do min yalon ko ye kululo le kam bal kululo nyala da tambe wala no sulo foto nyoko ombudsman ko korosiro kala ka foko institutional de fanal ko ale nyim kululo mel la nyen kan anen sulo manta misal fi ala ombudsman ngam murni la do ko mina ko yebay mo mina ko mentionné le time be fil zule le time be sonti mo mina ko mentionné la lifo dila ya lifo dila mo mina lan ko you know promotion la karola melan ko diwa entitled lutoyen ya ko ila nyanto mende ko fana ya sutol so o fana mi yalan ko ngosri a Seattle wonton jolni ala wansul mebe dendi wala yalla ma sakula do gulla o fitna sifal diam sifal ko sutol mi yalan ko musman ko loye kaaje ko fo wonni mi nyanto la hakoti o karo fana la ya dila ani mol min yalon ko fana wonni masakunda do kulal ka dunyola so ngana nyina ko because war jamalu je molla misiko ngoli kambe ko mas office ni ko masakunda do kulro bodo masakunda do kulal la problem wala no masakunda do kulal ka woni ko bari problem wol min askeno momonde niya soto momonde melo ko be sire nyim bako so modol fanal ikana ombudsman min kamanna ko itel ni masakunda do soto ye mi kan silo mantani lo manta and ombudsman ka lo wolende ikil hakol la nyatul soto woni kulal mi lan ko wol siata wata mol be lor wala
akumada barsay
yeah
yalon koku ombudsman dogo for most of the fence to je mi ala ba folo ko niwo nganya wala for most of the fence to mi ala isa fuje niwo wo mun na kole akole nyamende
comme niko nganya ila ni ko sen folo mba folo la wala ila ko sen yema folo ko fodo mol kana yala nan ka lo mol hajol jaran Gambia Africa and in fact inte ba folo fan ko dunia although mina nan ko man la fi dunia fola mba folo Africa because I can back my statement with the facts the only time naman kalamuta mol kisiro ke about regarding compliance with ombudsman recommendations namen kalam 2014 or 2013 well the Africa Ombudsman Research Center based in South Africa at KwaZulu Natal University wole research kale ka jube and research mumfo ako ay Gambia and Mauritius are rank as the highest in Africa when it comes to compliance with ombudsman recommendations. So, nyamo effectiveness of an ombudsman institution, abakala dending nyinalako, yem ike ila kisikisiro niya kumfa, aka masakunda ane masala bundal eka tamalal. So, wumu kulati miya walonkom, Gambia jam, amenke kole akoti wole be laare abe tamaka wole nyama ngamira mu titar bundal to mi an gon sen titar no wala
okay
ko ninga kumfa masaka tamala la ka respect tamala la kamula recommendation will implement le.
So how independent is the ombudsman's office?
Good ngama ndo bi je fana nyanda titar la mena wala moti ni kamana ko ombudsman niko how independent ala independence ba jibela abe laare banko la buku ba fawala ko do constitution ya nyintandi lako ombudsman manke bundati mi yalon ko mo se amanta bunda do koto the ombudsman is not subject to the direction and control of any authority or person. Ombudsman is subject only to the constitution and the law. So the constitution of the ombudsman independence guarantee. So ombudsman independence ni ajibe ngamra ali amal kumba ali akala mutalako president na mo appoint to be ombudsman wo fa bogake fonin député sontala well the president in consultation with the public service commission nominates or appoints an ombudsman, but that appointment is subject to the confirmation by National Assembly. So when measurement niya jube ka ombudsman sansa special sansa wala me alon ko bunda belo osoro
yeah pre interference
ni ba bayla president ta bayla no except or unless it is approved by the National Assembly or supported by a resolution of the National Assembly. So that is a resolution that is approved or supported by 2/3 of the National Assembly. I mean the entirety of the National Assembly. 2/3 of the National Assembly should endorse the decision of the president to remove an ombudsman from office. This is also another mechanism you will find. I mean, bunda dole also to want to bunda dole also. Mo be kamne chodi wani to kajo ko niamota. Anyanda kala mola timi yalan ko banko mol fango nyanta sonna la ko or député nyanta sonna la ko nyinde mola mi yalan ko aya merit le that either a substantial administrative experience to or substantial professional experience pro our doko nyin soto. So akamta ko ombudsman ala sansamani from the appointment to ala removal at the sunset la ba fansum ne box wala kono. So and
technically
bunda jumale seasonal
technically wo akake na National Assembly is also proactive independent bari jama nkaje ninna episode dunta parliamento they work on partisan lines so na tara president ngoni ayala mo choose ngaje bill dol kaje ikana mi alonko let's say for example anti-corruption bill nying you got certain MPs mi alonko ibe government so ibuka will support no at a pass la. So obviously, ni president left a bylaw, he can only connive with his people to say, vote this man out. So, protection of a mental.
Okay, so Nico, use content, like hypothesis or hypothetical situation, like but what we need to look at is Muneketa instead of like.
We've seen this happening. Even this former president building, a lot of the MPs and most Gambians my favor, but we've seen it pass through.
All right. Okay. Coming to the ombudsman, in your views, Mr. Jen, if the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, provides for the protection of an independent body, one classified that body as independent, and states that body is not subject to the control or direction of any authority, and also ala tenure for security. Will you consider that under the laws that institution is fully protected as far as the laws are concerned?
That's why I said technically.
That shows. Okay, when you say how, the question was how independent. So I think that is a very apt answer for your question.
No, I do understand and I appreciate it, but I'm just looking at the, like you said, the hypothetical aspect wherein the integrity of the MPs, is at stake. So now, ideally, you've got that independent, proactive and mature, MPs, are not influenced by, whatever thing, but it can focus on the national interest. So in that instance, even if the president would, it is on President Fangte Hanya like a bribe, okay, induced. But what I'm seeing, from experience, historically, when things happen, you say, okay, this thing has happened not once, not twice, so it might happen again. So, and can understand, maybe the courts like the Yakumba Jaite versus President Kabringa by courts reject reinstate. I can understand those instances.
Okay, let me also give you this example. Man, for you, whether you were aware, the current ombudsman is Bakar Keisanya. before he was appointed as ombudsman, the president nominated somebody to be appointed as ombudsman. I think you recall, and the matter went to parliament, and the parliamentarians rejected that nomination or that person, and the president had to nominate another person who is currently serving as the ombudsman. I hope you were aware of that. So you can see. So you can see that is one example of the assembly doing what they believe was in line with their mandate and the powers that they had, okay, or they have at the moment of that appointment, they have utilized it. So now the political influence that you are talking about, that it can happen, tomorrow somewhere, I think that is likely in every situation, but that is not specific to ombudsman. But when politicians play politics, I mean, that's not something that is within anybody's control.
Okay.
But is there any instance where in Ali case Soto, Ali political influence Soto, and then you make decision based on that political influence?
First and foremost, we are not a parliamentary body, even though historically the ombudsman let's assume in UK, Albanian Dame is a parliamentary commission. There has never been an instance in which the work of the ombudsman is influenced by the president or by your parliament or by some influential person somewhere, because the ombudsman, the way we work and the way the investigative department or directorate works is that the case is allocated to an investigator who will examine all the relevant laws, regulations, or rules in place and look at the circumstances of the case and arrive at a conclusion. So it has never happened. I do not know of any case that was compromised or that you would conclude that the outcome was flawed as a result of the influence of a politician. Because the ombudsman is not a politician. The ombudsman does not involve in politics. It's not a politician. It's not. The ombudsman is not a political entity. It's not for a political party. It's for the entirety of Gambians. Not even Gambians. Humanity. As long as you're Gambian and you're within the jurisdiction of the Gambia.
Okay, good. But kukiling, ayan sula jam bake kukiling na korosro tata woto. Malum fo ifana you would agree with me ko bayro jama miya lonko aninsilo bikata kolea ko jama miya lonko aninsilo bikata waka bondi fannal minna ikake private fenkolle de nyim private company kol miya lonko ombudsman iman sembo sotoje ya pasai ite fongola jeroto Gambia coming company minne bako nying wandi company minne ala bota bandala like Afrisal aning wonyongol minne alonko ye mol employ but wo mol jawaba bije ila niya jibe comme ila iblo me ko ben bari bayro kita kula mi alonko e man laso to vitala damen e bafala damen minne be nyaajo fitala imama na nyim fanam mo kuti mi alonko anyanta consider la fo parliament lombang fo atula nyanta flag la up pour kaje ko wol mol fana minne alonko e bo wolto because gambe dingolo wol finance glass to ibe kumbola damen pour ise nyaajo fitano nyame because ni wonde bay robe so na la nyim private entity bula like Afrisel aning wonyongol ise mol bayno la bari because mol man ta glass to bitala damen e maro wo fana nyante consider
okay membe ye wala mi yinti yemon foten concern me along ko atarhanun telephone bulole at the office of the ombudsman in the sense that mol kana yala wat mun alon ko bon private sector.
Exactly.
Lafta man fola wala senela wala mi to amanki ko man kumbo lasso to kumbo lasso wala the Department of Labor. But remember je namira najikoto munyanta kala wala okay now recently ko the labor bill has been passed. So but remember je wala mi yinti comment to niaje some parliamentarians can raise ombudsman should also look into the private sector and what should the telephone office bundato korosro ke kanu ko wala prikaji ko ninga ombudsman ak ni anen pour ngawo dundiji but for now woman ke and fulanya membe je wala ndiko men kuma wala ndiko department of labor bijel already so ni ata ombudsman be careful je akam de ko ombudsman be careful je in the sense ko I maybe opportunity or optional you wara gawli abi kila wala tibala ko amanka ko like iman dlosto bi alano daming udlaji bi wala the labor act except that isa men fono wala ni ko private public sector complain la carola yeminu will enjoy ka you don't enjoy ka minana ko they will have issues with the private sector in the sense called the ombudsman as an institution I symbol mun soto anding ala lo dula wala gena bambanta leboti ni dual ku takinyola so maybe that's
yalo iteninte beng olon ko ombudsman la officer womu constitutional bangola luala word but labor act womu act da malade what is I pour banko dingol be kanya ngosodo pour banko dingol le tembo sodo ngamana ba kumala la ni tol fana treatment sodo mi alon ko abako ombudsman ka sifa minge because ni wonde mo jamale be nyim private fan culture ite fana because ni ajibe ite fana ni be ko na Mr. Camera mol min kanaje e malon ko atol be ka private sector ko ke maybe work siale fo
aw ka siale
this is it because ya mira ko ombudsman bi je pour wala malon ko so wala ya tinna atol ima mira anyanda kelatul ayala ta upon yourself ko nyim jutilati nga funti nga fo ko bara ma mira alento lako amen nga jibe fo because the amount of ne jibe ale nale register so mol minika bonam private sector wala fanka siya minika bo government tato man sekunda la bundaldo so pour que nyin ko flag up abukela kuwede mi ala ko mada altol fana ye wo jibe fo alnena sidala ko mira ka jibe ko wonyanda kala ba
ngamon foje wala min ko kon sitala ko wala ka jibe ko pour ma koroslo ko wala bar mum beje wo facto jamal la katar je mo sumen consider flanya ndoro la fa mum fole wala min ko min ila diamu ya folo non dame ko kole ya kol non bayru kol an wala si wala kasiya dame wala private sector de katambi ma sekundala buna ana man tar lalu wonyaaw ndefa mu yenje den jandembe do ko kala ombudsman nane malon nun ko banko kan wasifal ka siyanu je comme ngalo nyamen kabandar do ko ombudsman so nyum bayru ko anen kam do ko lalla nyanto tinya anen kam modo la nyanto tinya mi alon ka be kere ma sekunda do ko bunda la siyatale bari ndefa nan kabandar ombudsman la ngolo so ma understand la ning ayatra itama wolon anu mo jamal bi jefana italon no because ndelbo position to dari alon ko you ka so from different section aning kara jamal la aninga sifa jamal so xamta ko to lolondo fadu taw bunda to pour ka alon ko asiatal so amenke ko la famo fala do wala ko tel public sector ta wala siata ntel kam receive katambi private sector ba hanika bi abuitale anu sang san jamal la katami mo jamal la kanaji fon lu alon ko ikanaji ombudsman loy so no katan ki direct len ka fe ko alta department of labor anu fulanya men bi
yalam be min fo kan department of labor
san do fanam beje wala nyindi ko bari labor mo masa kundala bundala de akam ko labor fanam be ombudsman kotole so ni ayatar e ke stato ombudsman department of labor ila ko rosroto kom yaaje ko labor melo do ko ge hanka be xam ta ko ita fana another levels another layer of protection to solo is it another ombudsman ka kalamero ke je labor department la ko wala
okay akumara that point lafta nga je klendi bake pour mo le alon because hotel ol bijende do fam fele asafe jako dol ka dara hotel o to ke treat nyamengi ke bayle ni sisino nata ye bay coming ke bayle ke ta anytime wato min diate anu boy for a level of nyameng this is frustrating kamul baylo min diate wato min diate tole so labor office bi wata nin sa fono gambia dingole ni e bay do kola ni afrisel nyol ni kiusel nyol ni hotel oldo dawo dalom yeta do kola ni bay dulale bije ka fo damel labor office altaje nantata labor office wolman kuboje alta ombudsman kodi woto say ni tata through that channel atul finance kubo no bele kodi
more for it. Ni amanka ko ni tata labor office wala ku bondi je hani ni labor mela do ko ke ani ngo man ku bondi je wala man kiliyade minan nan ngo fo ajibe ba yalan jamte en ko kabringa kidi binda kiti bunda fo janko ni ngata ikama la ku ibitala iba appeal kala ba final ombudsman ngo fo je Department of Labor ni man so la do ko la imela do ko ke ani do ko kele ite ko bari alata nyamen ngamen abete nyafa saying mborna ke samba ombudsman no that will presuppose ko ombudsman samba soto la pour que kisi lo ko ko ali tele kisi ko ndal taw kisi no ndal sa men keno wala ni ko lebo mela do ko ke ni ko police mela do ko ke ma police no ma police ala do ko ni ko
isi example di ko example di so that la moral sa understand ye mune mean by nin lebo mela do ko ke. Because let's say for instance nin nata je so labor official ni membe case ni handle kan na employer amala terimalti or amala mbitangoleti or they somehow related as equal kisi as impartial deduction okay.
Exactly. So let's example mendi misal fe isele ke misal fe mafu itako let's assume ko itako ngana ke sambale wole isidaka nyen kam na madla do men fo misal fe itako yem men fo personal relationship le be maybe la case be mablo won do nyatan ko bul aning wo hotel nyatan ko waran to wo bank yafa so say akamda ko say be question la no le be nem na fe no ombudsman against labor but not necessarily pour ngel case tanga handle no so bani la ko say ombudsman be kisi do men kala wala min de ko to the Department of Labor kavuko okay in case me an kana to nje let's assume ko case was registered and no follow up was made, no investigation was done, nothing was done in relation to that case. It means that case was not handled. It means that the young man under the circumstances go monkey. So it shows to the specifics. I lonko. It is then no nothing. I'm young control la moiro de ngakole so nyinde lebo nyanda mengle then we will refer to we will handle that matter against labor, but we will not take your case and say okay now we are going to look into your case. So that's one of the difference in it.
I understand clearly. What you're saying, I don't need label like a deal directly, but not the case, mean term of case. And in that case, left I understand it applies to all other departments of government, all other public institutions. Let's assume some police in a charge and they refuse to charge that person, they just let the person go. So the ombudsman okay, this matter was brought to you and you refuse to charge this person or to bring this person before the law, before the court. Let's make that right. Let's get that clear. What do they young kumada back? Ni moe Suleiman Tonya, ni moe ente Tonya. Nga samba police. Police all for ye dukoleta for ye munda for mungere janne ularo ngaje ko kuma mboje aseta ya.
Aseta yo. Yana ombudsman.
This is not ombudsman.
Seminar ombudsman, yes. You have ombudsman ngana case ngam samba police. Whatever happened, because something happened, the law, the rule of law was not applied. So in that matter, the ombudsman we believe they believe this the police a certain matter was did not progress due to whatever ombudsman ka wula ko. So left element understand wala mi ko all the public institutions itala case na nata je wala na nga jël fa ko nintal damawal dunta jole yalla kata police le nim police melo do ko ke nantelia nal sulata courant wala kata min tolo nawe ni ayatare ko la ko so je misal fi ngana mita apply mona mita so wonde yede over bill balan ye wonde kula la man ta ka ne silo man ta ma wundu no fanka nantelia ngo na ni ide so la card passport la ni ID card kata immigration le ye balile wonto misal Mansakunda now generally to provide you a sense of guidance. What will be Mansakunda Alpolo in Banco in a Banco Dimo? Ika service or what will be Ike during the service in Manyan during the men.
Mimbako?
What? Huh?
Mimbako.
Okay, na example, misalnya muskama mantara public sector, public hospital, amanya nak maternity card jo, modo kada kada na nyangamle. Wanda immigration officer ko, immigration officer aja ko like yalla ko laissez passer is gratis, apaka jo, yeto jornda. One day it team ni melo ko is free, you know, if ambla haji dola yeto jornda. Yeah, no, so come go see fall water do ko solle. So water do fana bi aka kanyina to ko service so nyalon ko inyanta jola $100 do yete charge because you ma khala hoda ye charge $200 one to $200 we charge the $1,000 wala wasifa kadu ko itama alo water do bi je masa kundala service so ka jole e because ko resido fo dila.
Okay.
Yeah, which means that akam do ko itama mo show water do bi je ne def ko service so jole bay la service so ma dila. So intel masa kuna dama tema nyina ka sotaji na kese taje nyanta lo na case la nyanta lo na ka service odina ka topoto bari on son kake wonde na fa ko lenki wonde tapale al dundi
okay uncle I'll answer 1 minute camera.
Yeah.
I have one question about tough workers. Tough construction. I have seen women from Gunjur minibe do ko tough here C4. They do a tremendous job there, but at the end of the day, Minke Joe, I came up to like the month is like 25th of the month. I call so many man so many man by. So now I buy for 1 month or 3 weeks, something like that. You will lose that salary. I baby and still what about those women? What can they do? Because when I went to Gambia, I've seen thousands of women who were crying for that one. I came now more 20 fenke, I 25 fenke karobina fada ko haniman na nearby. So at the end of the day, they took your salary. You work for almost 25 days or 29 days. Yeah, for it, you wouldn't get that salary. Those people are not educated. They don't know what to do. What can they do?
Yeah, Department of Labor.
Department of Labor, you as a poor woman like me, you've been going back and forth. They will tell you, go tomorrow, go Wednesday, go Monday, come this day, come that day. At the end of the day, you don't know what to do next. You will be relaxed because you don't use the capacity you can be fine because I think those Department of Labor, they have something with those people. Our women are suffering for those things. I'm sorry to say.
Okay, but remember, for now the option member the private sector is a make member Department of Labor or Industrial Tribunal. So it's a tribunal, the Industrial Tribunal use now. It's a like Marasaman court. It's a down labor. Gambia Jang is Human Rights Commission because the Human Rights Commission it will limitations to the coming ombudsman limitations when it comes to jurisdiction. It will sure, but understand it's like when it comes to these issues of administrative matters, usually from MOU so that and it can find refund to us. So whether how would I call it? For now, member Kiranda Abiladam Gorayama, Lucas and that. This is optional.
Okay, very been there for specifically cut off like a okay. Even men follow no woman for a Human Rights Commission, with a labor office, put in New Orleans, Kacha. But okay, men fanam kulea quoting in Kokono, Mr. Camera. Is Needing could police ole couldn't tema or in immigration passport officer couldn't tema or in mole couldn't tema me along with Joro like a KJ. Okay, nin Joro KJ. Ye charge ye jo minna for atambita. But atambita minna womu $5 iled. Okay? But it will have $5 or a backle. But ibe paso min jola pour kataje the complaint So the ombudsman kataka na ibe minkela wodo bije akasia kodo tele miya lonko ye charge wala extra. So malum fo atolla official kule bije because in UK system la bija miya lonko ika jibele the damages cost coming tinyaro minkeda not kodo drone nakungo and defanga wo experience le amanke ko $5 min doron dadaje bari yenna time o minta yenna time mi waste pour kata kana e ko be put la into consideration ya paso min jo ela wato mi yata pour ko wo mari compensate o ka jo wala pour ka ko wo ke kuroti man sakunda bunda mi yalon ko ay toni roke fo atul fanan ko wo kele al ko put la into consideration bro Mr. Kamara.
Okay, na kumembe denden paso la hani
the damages, let's call it the damages, not like parcel.
Okay. Ni ayatara purka lafta purka bondi nyokor. Ni ayatara iko don compensation. It depends more nyimbe mon compensation si fale claim la in relation to an act of injustice. So the specific thing ombudsman will jibel and determine. Lafta mon fole it is well within the powers of the ombudsman kaje ko new moye koleya ko soto andu wo sulo be jele ombudsman la jeroto pour que compensation o determine anka landi masakunda kan yo moñu compensate la ombudsman yo sembo soto la loi ko to pour ko woke. However ning ayatara yeni example si fa menke fotay katunko to be specific, specific to your question, ning ayatara wo example, wo scenario si fala. It has never happened in that manner.
Okay, give us an example. Give us an example. It may experience. Akita. And then a compensation okay, wala. It has ever happened?
Not to my knowledge. Except that
metal the pro si fal makana kejedi woto yamara buka kule ke mi alon kan insi amukanyo
wala nan ko it depends ila man kanale mala wala na fo yenna kuma kan moy nko if you claim any form of compensation yalo you're not even talking about injury compensation or civil ombudsman ko handle in instances in which you civil handle. So wala nan ko if you claim any form of compensation, so we have to speak to the specifics of this compensation. And ombudsman will determine this. So if niata itanuo kumakasiva jamme no kumakasiva mana ombudsman, then it wouldn't happen, right? So something happens.
Ombudsman law atul na nama osifalje. What's the reference na manke?
Ila moina, man fo ila moila ba. Ila moina, man fo kam moila ba. Nko. If you claim, underline the word claim. Underline it. Claim. Claim means it comes from somebody. Right? Claim. So, if there is no claim of anything, there is no possibility of that.
But no, come on, Mr. Kamara. Some people, no, don't be smart here. Can't let me understand, young. What will be here? What a level of understanding, mom for the water? Come on, Atul Fana. What to say? No, let me finish. Let me learn. Ni atanu claim mansoje. It is a phone or partelako or babu karanko. Ila claim on ngate fenke no nga kale. What's basic kenol? There's a room for osifal be. But na bije momi malong afreko. Ndoke nyim fanankele. Puru ning atharanum ilafta nyim fanankela. Nse karandi educate them. Puru ya long. Ibajela woto nyim tilimbali altakela. But na albuka fo yake bula yeta o nyama. Well, iko ngodo mi on the line woto obe continental for janni fawdi Mr. Kamara fo.
Okay, so I'm going to wala mi ndiko. Ngamre ebe men on tengolam awareness creation. And I have to commend you. I have to commend you for that. And I think that media outlets, we should do more of education than entertainment. Unfortunately, we do more of entertainment than education. So
no program 2 minutes civic education.
Okay, good.
Program 2
Okay, good. So mumbeje wala mi ndiko. So mumbeje wala mi ndiko. When it comes to matters minalonko pour mol se ifang semben tuyami menna wobekela collective responsibility leti pour ka chodro ke pour ka mol kala mutande ntese men fono wala nyinde ko fo fendi miyalonko moya fille moya feel ko nyimu kulati miyalon ko mansala bundale ala anare he feels ko wo anyanta ka address ten wala nyinam kole aku dati je I am not an ombudsman. I think that is from today.
No, crystal clear. No. Honestly, that is crystal clear.
Because if you tell me,
you're on mute, Sol.
No, Mr. Jame, let me tell you, when you're creating awareness, you can only tell people, if you feel this way, claim this. Because when it comes to rights, you have to claim rights. When it comes to entitlements, you have to claim entitlements. So that's the beginning. That's the start of everything. If you tell me no, then you are going to shift it the other way around. Then unfortunately, in fact, that will be more detrimental to society. Institutional level.
Amanke ko cool to institutional level. Lafta nimfula jang. Because atolla do golam pour ka mol nyaaji ol fita.
Yeah.
So what nim monada mi alonko because niaje wo beba kela the level of the civic education pour ka mol fahamdi wala mang fano bake.
Amanke dale Gambia.
Amanke Gambia.
Ngamanke dale.
Amanke dale. Okay. So what is saying? I think we need to take it upon our coming Dolkenyim program. Saul is a busy guy. I am busy in Dolben in the family. But maybe sometime down the line, you can do from a barrage or tinol. Pur kamol kunindi, kamol kalamtandi ke faham di ko. Because more jamal bige, well, listen, it move forward to control.
Yala left and for letting up. Just case do bige. Case do bige, wo ala. Ay problemo soto ala do ko wala kono so yata samba kitiola kabila samba kitiola institution ni ala department mo lawyer ati fo na lawyer ta fo tata fo ala ko tata fo ala programme ni tata fo ala case ni fight in court ya fam so ba mumbe je wala ndeko kabila kitio nyim banda ala institutional na ombudsman claiming everything at a men do spend over from Goro and ombudsman lota and another case win. So Bajala Kosa, he's the one making the claim I perfectly spend in that case all the damages. I will like a Funoma at a men feel call institution I will spend here. He made a claim of that and ombudsman yeah, it's true ko. This person should not have defended himself in court. He should not have, it should have been the responsibility of his institution to fight the matter in court on his behalf. But the fact that it did not happen in that way, so I claim it was genuine and recommended to that effect.
Good.
Level of awareness.
Kamara, just bear with me here. Coming for jang wala nyintiko wo fele atata karambungo da karanta ayalong wala yatin ay wokeno pasai binte mo sifal minifra minimo na kibon nalong gadin nyama kuntulalong aning barika dogo kedlalo to dame yalongo
masakunda
ikadogo kedlalo to dame yalong imanyu long wala level of fenko mam futa nyindo ya family. So, ngamera nyanta ndolbe nyanta nyisim fatala to educate them. Because ima ma follow ko ngabula atol dabokang on your soldier ko atol le nyanta wobe kela. But atol fa nyanta sila like afoko mansa kundae ko. I think we need a budget for civic education. Kamol educate kafo eko. Nyini bekering. Because cool minni bako passport dobije. Mol kala fidu ko tala gel. Cool minni bako dladol ni tata bari modol sa wala police ol damal min yalan ko ni dara je ning sole molom ay fendi wala commando kay ko karla molom no ala bra ese so ite mon ye ford la so dara je bari isa fo ta na fo soma so atul mamira al nyanti nyin tala la pour kaje ko ala fo ko yalla nyin time mo min be wes e ba jolale loi bi jela mi yalon ko nyanda wo jolal e ba jela woto sini sama police ul fanam balon nal ko imanya na mol treat la wo nyam wala immigration ul fanam nyanda wolon nal Come on, Mr. Kamara. Alpha Nanyanta working on all the.
Okay, left a month for wala mi de ko one neatare ko awareness creation del bokan and ben new kanji.
Have you got a budget for that? Me along go put
Yeah, we have a budget, but the budget is not adequate. It's not sufficient. When it comes to awareness, putting use for awareness creation, it's not sufficient, not adequate. So what to do? In fact, these days being in fact, yesterday the only we Kunu was right, Friday, right? Thursday, the MTA Ahmadiyya TV, yeah, one of our programs air in the morning and in the evening. And I say this because what they gave was that program gratis. You haven't done for it. So, you have programs Joro Kela. You have other programs maybe just like this one, Italy invitational extend to the Ombudsman. So remember the budget is not adequate. We spend the budget to use the budget to create awareness. And but any other opportunity open to any media outlet or individual, he's committed to creating awareness in the Gambia relating to the rights of people and people getting to know the institutions that exist in
this is their right.
So the other part, ila question is two part. So the one the effort and you ask the question about budget. Yes, budget so about two. Secondly, what is not adequate. So one of the other part. The other part of your question, how the ombudsman will arrive at a decision in the case relating to a matter that is not for a director of communication to say. Any case that is brought to the ombudsman will look at this element and conclude it this way. That is absolutely not part of any form of awareness creation. Coming ko ilafa children ko ombudsman badala ko okay ite patata letting and all of those things. So therefore, in that case, people will expect it. In that case, people will expect it because you promise it. You see, when it comes to service, you cannot promise it. No, I just want to tell you, when it comes to rendering service, if you say that the moment you lodge a complaint with the office of the ombudsman against any public institution, any form of expenditure that you have incurred as a result of lodging that complaint, ombudsman will ask that to be refunded and your time wasted and all of those things. That is not something that I can say that is only
ita follow no ko abalala wala nyama lu abukata mo nyama
lafta millon na wolem ko ombudsman ning aka operate nyaadile because ila deliberation on ning iko ali investigator sotole.
Yeah.
So let's say for instance nintinata with a case mba start la minto andung unit sol sifa unit jelle bal bulu alka operate alka do operation o kenyadile.
Okay, akono bina fanula. Okay, let's complaints lodging the complaints. Ubekino la nyame. Ite new complaint soto ya safi ifan ya na fi na ombudsman ya email mole wala na mole office ya di mole. Only one way. The other way is that you walk to the ombudsman office at Cape Point or Masakonko or Kerawan, Basse, Janjambure, any of the branches. Ye tama ye singula kenden ken ye futa je si ye complain okay aning angale kamala osura kamala mandeka kamala ye kamala moy to the complaints officer we la moy aya safi and reduce your complaint into writing. After I carry ye la ko wala complaint ya sign so it becomes yours aya forward. Then you have a department that is responsible for investigation. It is headed by a director of investigation. Well, the person will they will receive ombudsman will allocate this case to the director. Director will allocate this to one of the investigators. You have principal investigators, you have senior investigators, you have investigators in that unit. So they will take the matter and then they will afford the opportunity, the institution concerned, the opportunity to also react to the complaint. They will look to verify the information provided by both sides and arrive at the conclusion, and the ombudsman will recommend in relation to that complaint.
Decide, or is there after when the investigators do their findings?
After the findings,
is there another unit ibadila minna minube appointing a decision of maker? Let's say like a tribunal or a committee of people that would,
well, the ombudsman and deputies. What are the ombudsman and deputies? They are the decision makers at the ombudsman's office.
Okay.
Yeah. And once the recommendation is done, then the department will be notified. The institution or the complainant also will be notified relating to his complaint.
Okay. You also mentioned iko nayatara ye case soto itata report adung ya feel ko femmanke case minna. You can come to ombudsman and ombudsman can look into it. But
not look into it. Ombudsman can condition that institution to do its job.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Look into it. Besides the whole condition. So lafta meaning kala wole munea tara ali you see things on social media and alia feel ko nyinde police should have looked into it or the security sector should have looked into it. But almaje anywhere that police or the security sector has looked into it. Is it within your responsibility, Jeko, this matter has been followed, or taken care of by the police? Let's say, for example, during the mayoral election, in a video on social media where one lady was assaulted, pepper spray and iban enikan. It's like she was harassed by a group of guys. And I still believe nothing has came out of that. So, Office of the Ombudsman, Akawol case dol jube, or you don't look into those once they're not reported?
Okay. When you say nothing has come out of that, it was handled by a body, right?
Nobody looked into it because they believe the person is, a nephew of the president or something is related to the president. So he was not invited for questioning.
Okay, I can tell you, the Ombudsman has a proactive mandate. The ombudsman can look at instances committee mufuteng. This matter deserve an ombudsman inquiry. The ombudsman can initiate that on his own. So the ombudsman has powers to do that.
Okay. So the victim can come to the ombudsman.
The victim too can come to the ombudsman as long as whatever happened to him is done by public officers and it is in connection with their official duties. And I should emphasize that because anytime anything a public officer has done which is not in connection with official duty is not something that you will relate to the ombudsman. So it has to be connected to, because when you say public officers will find care the phone. The phone. So Muso police officer to ombudsman because of what happened to Kenda or Nanebo or Nalwasla. Musolo Kula, I found out Mulaso, your mother ombudsman. So level move I collect you will do didn't do call a monk.
The issue is here. I don't.
No. I'm just making for the clarification. Yes, of course, it is within the powers, the person's right to bring that matter to the ombudsman.
Sometimes Fanangaje is like in the state and government department. Musul usually harass sexually, and I don't know because these are sensitive things that people don't want to generally talk about. But sometimes, it can victimize like the lower cadre, where Minuka Fiterol K or secretarial thing, and you will see Falmea Longo, they might not come out and, complain. So for Allah program, do you discuss this thing to make these people aware? If you are a victim, you need to come out, and this is how we help you.
Okay, when it comes to the sexual harassment of to be honest, we're comprehensive and emotional, but the aka community comme misal fe moya foko Kenya ja mbay ay kanule nung mansong wala ay kusifal tile na nung mansong yeah nkaw sifal sotole. So in that instance, the circumstances surrounding the dismissal and GBL. So maybe there is possibility ko niya I alafta men among wakil wala atin I feel okay. So until we will not be able to establish that, and usually even the complainants do not have any form of evidence to prove that. So but we look at the circumstances or the reasons for the dismissal, then we recommend against the ombudsman will recommend against that decision to dismiss that person. So, but what is to it can happen. We just cannot find evidence. What will be? No, what will be? Not just us, but even the complainant. We come across that. But like the evidence present. But the outcome of the refusal to reject the sexual advances of the boss can result into decisions like yabalala nyantola, yabalala lifola, yabalala promotionola, yabalala yabay. Ano was sifal. So until ko sifal the chorus, nga ko dalilo mo taraji budum dalilo ko ndolo na but dalina ka dal kendaman taraji, then we recommend against that. Then ka umarul ju semben tuya isa jala hakon le nyantol bumenti isa sudno. But yes, ni ayatra do kula me evidence gara because investigation of keno in the absence of evidence. So and I think because we cannot just list all acts of maladministration. Mr. Jeng, when you say ombudsman investigate acts of maladministration, you cannot list all of it. It's not possible. So what I'm coming for coming out for the program of for offending me alone ko yaji alone iti alone no ko womu wonu luwa ne sartol fota nyoko le do ko la sartol fota nyoko ni wala tilitala ana na ombudsman ngam sa fono ten and we work sexual harassment but yeah so the more you gather your evidence relating to the way because Sunday is I mean I think it's not difficult.
Yes,
it's not difficult sometimes to prove
Mr. Camera
that people may not yeah
Mr. Camara ida tarayata bakele but jang la fay jam fo demanding slowly because jang ko mada bake because boss Jamal Bije ikela genial chase for chase lo ka fo chase bang ke ha yo chase yo de ide fello jele oto
ya ngamo wala nyindi ko
je lafta fay je for slowly isa je sinin sama mol se hakilo do because do bije modo biya man fembo to ka fay ko ni lafta promotion ola wala la weje lafa ibe hanyela kula osifal could be class as sexual
or even at least traveling is somebody when they're traveling together for them and osifal
very
ya mo to complain ya mo to complain
the others are victimized so
so ngamu fo wala minde
if I accept and then Mustafa ma accept so Mustafa is denied
yanga wala fe ngon santa nyinna lo ko waxa ka department lo tole modo beje niaja mantera boss la good books kono tumondo bato aussi falle dunte tem ndela office de aka finti diamol kono le investigational kono wantan case do bayro le keta wada kudo le keta muso ya fo ko memu isuti wala nyinti ko nyin ay tulu wala tilinna manson ngam fo wala nyinti ko ntelde ni ayata inatan kayo kuma kan sifa fo moli annin ite na lawla ite anate anin ala altele wala so kisi ro de keno wala ko but min ayata
let's say for instance
man da senandi kam jamme afanya ni ayata ite mario ila nyaton ko be kanu ko wala tilinke ila abe tulu wala tilinke la abe harassment ni na ko ite malla fala ayata toral right because now you are welcome among harassment again so by the time you welcome ila evidence gather ila evidence so itali ala muna evidence so iso ko futandino la ombudsman so adaba ombudsman la dogo kono le nyin kam na ko woni sartol le fota nyoko pour ka kula mo kan mi alon ko amantar dianga aniye banne ma diala ibela position lo use kan wala yatna na kaja because amanke to abukawdo nimna don to akawdo many times ma fala ko abuse of power wala
ni aje lafta kula kan account o musaba account o kango kanto
okay aja
mo minika bata ko kono bake wol buka understand no local languages on le famla okay but say kana lafta
ni mo pala soto because ate sembo soto le akaw position abuse le aka abuse le wala nyindi ko aka position tala ay ala fam of ay symbol la je mo kam mumba to koto nyin kam man ko woto wurla no ata kumbola no ka to nayake kole ya ko le batar la je sa mun bi wala nyindi ko ngo ni ayatara ite evidence sotole bari i balantala not na the repercussion je wanda manke repercussion fawti ay manya sifa menke because sexual harassment ala sifa lem right sexual advances and ala sifa lem anala level lem so different degrees le kataraje so it based on it no munata mulka ombudsman will recommend accordingly ngata no evidence on that.
Okay, let's call it as coming ning ataranung text message as evidence, wala video message as evidence, wala picture message as evidence or audio. Would you class albewo acceptable level as new evidence lediko nyeming I mean for tonyalo alko acceptable?
Yes, you see ombudsman jela anin court man clear. You see when it comes to the court strict rules of admission of evidence and stuff like that. Ombudsman manchot, ombudsman administrative watchdog led. So anything yang ka ombudsman kono file, satisfy ni strict ni mantra you just bring your evidence, ombudsman will examine that. And I can tell you specifically anything yang go video them, text them, document them, anything in that format, never another ombudsman will accept it.
Good. Budon sa boss nyol asal hakilotu sign texting audio beka monitor le sol.
Yeah. I think lima bugona come like yalong when it comes to such harassments come it identify nyame is systematic. And sometimes it's like you cannot just get this thing, like the physical evidence or batunga natal or batunga tape when he's talking shit or when he's touching me inappropriately nga video, because you wouldn't even have that time. But sometimes you would have 2 or 3 people that would complain about Mustafa, so that means all those 3 people cannot be wrong. Somehow somewhere he has done the act. So by virtue of
when it comes to investigation, it has to depend on ombudsman select evidence jamalakan. So I think we are summarized. So because you cannot come here and talk to the specifics of you don't evidence, you don't make evidence. So specific to a case, investigation of biological. If you look at this person, an investigator may rely on when evidence is corroborated. So wala nang ko mo mbije min mol si men fono wala nyinti men nga ko koyta mol ma men nga ko la mol wala nyinti ko harassment adade acts of maladministration colony yafa ngam
harassment should be illegal.
Sign ito mario do la case ba so na fota so la iba will na specific to it fota na it will depend on what type of evidence or witnesses you present namara nyim bije so
okay.
So people just know it. Ko ñu mën na ñantolati ko ñu ma ñana kala am nañ bunda bi jëlan sitano dame yetaje. So say the weight of evidence wo amantarante bulo ko ko nga amantarante bulo ko na wata ma do bulo ko. So mu mun present la ombudsman wala examine.
Akomada wato tata bake but say yalo ombudsman fanam bi jele pour ngol lay. Tell me yalo ndo ngi ñini ngale kuma jamal afonye munamu atol fanan na kolea quality.
Ombudsman la kolea ko something comme like resources da wala ombudsman la kolea ko nga mata na dal wala ombudsman la kolea ko comme something from comme tanina la karo like moto la karola amantar sonya renji ombudsman na fleet of vehicles and men soto jamal bi da already not roadworthy impactally tinyatally pour ko mo ko to soto kolea ombudsman is working on it, but right now kolea ko dalti ombudsman la karola flaja niajibe ombudsman la bundal min yalon ko ni data even in the countryside. I mean like bank baseñol la ni la ko tongolto let's say not say base but ni data not bank the governor office le ni tata janjam le governor office le ni tata masakon ko governor office le ya base da man governor office so niajibe je mbi bolin ko ana nidara ndala headquarters fananto yena woto fanan koros jibe ya jibe ko bungo men kono je space je ko tanke and membe je some colonial building net. So we acquired a plot of land. Ombudsman is working on building that. So challenge is to have that built. Right now, depends on being to come up with a design for an official building. So, but maybe it will be challenging in the sense that maybe I don't know, but it can take time. Maybe before that building is is built and then sula so I come to Kotarala. Amantar sonare na santolto na nyanta lolon fayem function official to right now on traje tanen na nyanta ka wala soto motol la karo facility material resources abe mankeren but even in the absence of that we are doing trying our best and we are doing whatever is within our powers to execute the mandate of the ombudsman.
Saying alla official katara governor sola office yemira wo buka some interference delay la doko.
Okay, saying misalo fe yalo ngado ngamusindu wala ko fe misalo musindu wala ko wala ko di ibe mo ko da ko nyimende la ko da fa la fa na ma sonala let's assume ko ibe governor do ko ibala bu mo la ko ko masa ko dal tang bar yalla tele mo raji misal fe il after your case now against that governor and you need to investigate the governor. So I need more investigate like even men na bumo ya fanga mo fa ni ta mata tonyala ina ba kuyala asikeno ina e kuya ni ta mata tonyala.
Do you have those experiences?
Remember it's not ideal for ombudsman office to be housed by anybody. So at least as one of the challenges. I mean, we have an office in governor's office in Kerawan, in Masabo, and in Janjambure. So that does not mean that the governors are not supportive of. And do you know why that happened? The reason it happened is that because the governors were very supportive of the ombudsman. Like when we want to create an office in the provinces, government sufficient resources demola, so they will say, okay, they can house us. So wole arrangement sifal nafe. But ideally, I think that with time we'll sifal benyanta danale and the ombudsman nyanta function building standard building head office and also regional offices.
Akumada Bake, but what of Abanda Barsol, your final thoughts and Niataran will of the film follower, Lail of the film Mira La Kula Member Dangling Nakachakula Ombudsman's office, and then Juma and say the Fanambula with the final thoughts La Sol. I kukuma Jamal Fujang, I'm the solo law. Some debe more yamen de la minna wolong. Yalom police ol ninyi immigration ol ninyi man sakunda dokulal minni yalong ko sunkutundingol katare koto. Dobi je nyanto jama bale ka tinyanje. So nim momo yefe ofenje mi yalong anila nyanto manda.
But muna tinay for police ol ni wal. So Minister of Agriculture, Health, Animal Finance, Information.
Wala nga bundal fo. Yaje atemo police ol di wala naka police.
Ani amange woti ko. Come like specifically because
masakunda bunda o bunda.
Yo. Thank you.
Belem chow yalong ko nga fo nyawa. Akoy tala bundal min man tara ombudsman la dogo koto so bor bunda o bunda me nga ombudsman la dogo koto le comme ay chodro men foten ne ayatara yamera ko wo sifal moyatiri la fofo ndal ay la nyantoni la ada ning sartul fanal mata o la fa long ko ya tinyale amari borna ombudsman and ombudsman lo ay.
So alla problemol ning alle government approach for assistance or alme approach.
Problem
motor cool alla space.
We are on that. And the government is making some effort. Currently, provided some resources, financial resources for the procurement of vehicles, but that's not adequate. So it's still part of the consensus. But I think that they will continue to provide more financial resources for the procurement of vehicles. to is the work of the ombudsman. So nobody for head office man for the ombudsman. Government has provided some resources for the design, and already I think we contact Gile. I think we have awarded that to Ministry of Works, and they have come up with already a preliminary design module. So what happens after that? We cannot say, but what I know is that I'm just thinking maybe it will be. It will not be a very quick process of building a head office. So, but when we get I long code until we have approached government, and government is doing some taking some steps to addressing the constraints.
Bayalo wonyanta tarayala la. But say ninkum wonyama inata ko kilen na coming funding yo fole, but saying pour funding pour kamol educate iko be tasarine. Wo fanyanda kula de mi ya longo because abije pour banko molle cause ne ajibe do bi yanda kasi kalfan kisi fo dol nyina sango maduku jama mana mo jamal bukana nya ni wato mana mo jamal bukana ombudsman wo si fal ko wo si fal kele, and then your final thoughts akaja kumfa
lafta mum fale wala min de kon min ko manko be jele nyantol karamtol la karola wato dol bije ngata departmental tole ngata communities fanan ni mol ka sinni ka kacha nga bar mum bije wala min de ko nga futa jele ni mol singa kacha do nga kola ko fo ngana dogo fle der ikadi wo moto fa mol ka kumol fu mole ko nyine soto wakatare ma lon nun ko inyanta na lon ombudsman. So complaints jama bije fanan me kon tegno arrest staff la ngor register wala nyama ko ntata le ni mol sitan kachata mini kachata ko okay really ba ni kada so ko volta so kam to ko kalamutaro evidence bijel already a clear la senator la wer without any doubt ko kalamutaro ni wala manket. So membe je wala ni ko awareness creation wo mo a continuous process lati amanke lum kilin kuti amanke lum fula kuti amanke tel sama ko amanke san kilin kuti kula mi alan ko supposed to be ongoing continue kake so akungo nyam fanatale so ngo continue ngabinde
final thought
baraka bake at least kachani nga diata and is very educative. So mol drong si minube in lamoy kangan will be juve kan is the message ning share with their friends, families, and in neighbors. Isi kala mundan ku office bije coming for office of the ombudsman. Momo ibe do ko la mansa kundato ni ilanyanto imadila isitano je nyinin karo ke isi advice inyanta monekela o isi la keso kisino. So Allah baraka bake. Thank you so much for coming.
Barabake, thank you so. Mr. Juma Burain Baraka, Betan Beje for what you could inshallah.
If I baraka.
Baraka, all right, thank you so much. Cheers. Right, Bruno Lamoralan Giberalo Mobe Dawada and Ebe Watu the civic education program of Ming Castle local Ninian Tembensita, Jamano, Cabron Skype, radio and TV services. A Bruno program when you can CBT like Cabondi Talalulu, UK time. Katata la woron in tala o nyatola. Momo ya feel coming for the janga be mol nafa lale. It's a program on yinsia. Isaje asamol nafa. I can mole civic education. The kula mimbe dending mola nyantola. Kula mimbe dending mola nyatotala. Soto mol mimma sembo soto ma food la soto. Wato isunyi na lambedana jane follow kunala. Inshallah. Kebono Skype or radio and TV service dokulal pecho ala nal badimalo Mustafa jamme membe sirin program o kunna fasibit nala inshallah alimbara. Thank you.